Yeah, my name is Jordan Myron. I'm sister of Mercedes Myron.
Can you just spell your name so we have that correct?
JordenMyran.
Jordan, how are you feeling after hearing that decision?
I'm flooded with emotions. I'm extremely happy, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Justice was served today.
As the Chief Justice was reading his decision, how were you feeling?
Like I said, just like a burst of energy. Like I just felt super happy. I wanted to cry. I didn't, but I just feel very, very happy. We fought for this for so long.
What is that applause and clapping for?
That everyone's very happy that he got what he deserved and that he was guilty the whole time. Yeah.
Any part of that hard to hear at all, to hear that decision read? I know you're happy with the outcome.
I think it's definitely hard every time being in that room with him and hearing everything, but at the end of the day, I'm just very happy that with the judge's decision.
Did you look at the accused at all, or I guess did you look at him at all during the trial and today?
I did, yes.
What were you looking for?
Any bit of emotion, any bit of just anything. He doesn't show anything, so that he's guilty and he doesn't care, and that if he was let loose again, then he will do it again.
What does this step in the process mean for you and your family now that the search is going to start in the fall?
Yeah. Everything will be towards search the landfill now. That's the next chapter, and just to bring my sister's remains home. The last bit of closure that we need. Yeah. Yes, I do. I will be doing a statement, a victim impact statement. I think that I have a lot of thinking about what I'm going to say, and a lot of emotionally preparing myself to stand up there and be able to speak.
Jordan, this is just a string of just incredibly horrible circumstances and developments, and the way your families have been treated to a large degree. Is there any sense of satisfaction on this day?
Well, yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy that the decision was that he's guilty, because I knew that all along. So I'm just very happy.
Beyond your family, I mean, the whole issue, the way this has been politicized, murder and missing Indigenous women and girls, do you think this province is going to be the same, or do you think that?
I think that it's brought a lot of awareness to MMIW, and now that it's out there, that we're going to continue to fight for each and every one that's still missing. Thank you.
Sorry, one more last.
I'll do one more question.
Sure. Today's verdict, obviously, a big sense of relief for yourselves. Do you think that this is a shift in the tide when it comes to Indigenous issues in the justice system?
Definitely. I think that it's made a big statement, and I think that we fought so hard and made such awareness to the big problem here in Canada. So I think that it's going to help immensely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, I am. Yeah, just looking for you. Let me see if they're all here. Is everyone here? My mom. Where's everybody else? She's coming. All right, everyone's here.
Jeremy, can you just introduce yourself, just because this is going out to a wider audience, by saying it's...
Can these go up a little bit higher? Or?
I think they'll be okay there. They should pick up your voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just sort of look forward and
Hello.
Just tell us who you are.
I am Jeremy Skibicki. I am the older brother of Rebecca. And this is all my family behind me, siblings, friends, close friends alike. And then if anything you wish to ask us, please feel free.
Just because this is going out to a wider audience, can you just spell your name for us before?
My name's Jeremy. It's spelled Jeremy. Contois, Contois.
Tell us how you're feeling with the verdict.
A little bit of mixed emotions. Sense of relief, gratitude, but ultimately, hopefully, it brings closure when the sentencing date does come into effect.
There was cheering and clapping in the courtroom. That's continuing now.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yes, were you part of that? What was your reaction?
I wasn't, because like I said, like I was kind of hoping that we were going to hear like an actual sentencing, but we're glad that he's being found guilty of all 4 counts.
As the Chief Justice was reading his decision, what was going through your mind as the reasons were being given?
A little anxiety, because I just, hearing all that again, reliving it each time we were here. But ultimately, I believe that he made the right decision.
The judge spoke about the significance of this case and the fact that it brought the issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women, which has long been an issue, to light once again. I guess, how do you reflect on the broader significance of this case, not only for your sister, but other women out there?
Well, I really hope that this kind of like opens up, like, this is like the more seriousness of the matter when it comes to missing or Indigenous women. Not only just women, but also for men as well. I hopefully, like I said, it becomes more serious and takes more. It's not taken lightly.
Well, so much went wrong here, right? Right from your sister going missing in the beginning. Do you feel like today something has actually worked in the system and it's actually worked in the favor of the families?
I cannot speak on behalf of the Meyers and the Harrises, but when it comes to us, yeah, kind of like feel a little bit sort of a sense of relief, but at the same time, like I mentioned, aforementioned, like I hope that when the sentencing date does come, there'll be more closure.
What did you look at him during the trial and like certainly during the verdict, and what did you think of his reaction?
Of Mr. Skibicki's? Yeah. Honestly, the man has showcased no emotion throughout the whole trial process. He never looked around once, so it's kind of hard to read from where I was sitting most of the time during this trial, but deep down, he knows what he did. He knows he's guilty.
And on that same question, there's a woman at the back called Krista.
Yeah.
Krista, as she was holding a sign when Skibicki was walking by, I was wondering if you could just tell us as to why you decided to hold a sign when he was walking by, and your reaction to looking him in his face when he was walking by when he was leaving.
First and foremost, we must remember that we must keep this about Rebecca and the justice that was served today for her. This is now, I hope you guys turn your focus now to the love and support that you can give this family as they move on this new journey. We traveled from Saskatchewan. I'm a huge MMIW advocate. I'm also a grandmother to a murdered 14-year-old grandson, December 7th of 2020. I also bring along with me Diane Morin. Diane is the mother of missing Ashley Morin. Ashley's been missing since July 10th of 2018. If you think of that, that's yesterday. 6 years we've been without her girl. So we come together with our families. These guys are our family. We've connected with the Contois family a couple of years ago during our journey across Canada, and we were blessed. I feel honored to stand here with Jeremy today and with his mother.
The feeling is mutual.
And we will continue to fight. Why did I lift up the poster? Because we, as First Nations people, are not statistics. Every single one of us have a name, and we have a family that miss us dearly. So when I lifted the poster today, I not only needed the court to see we are here today because the remains of this beautiful young girl were found, and I feel today she finally got justice, and I hope the family realizes how much love and support they have, and you guys will have forever care from myself, from Diane Morin, and from my community. So thank you guys for giving me a moment. Thank you,
of course,
the family, for allowing me.
Thanks for your words.
Jeremy, the judge said that this decision and ruling would answer some questions, but some may never be answered. What questions remain unanswered, if any, for you and your family?
Just why? Why do you have to prey on anyone that's, vulnerable per se? Not necessarily them, but just in general, just Mrs. Skibicki, why did he have to do it? I wish we knew that, even though he confessed, but he really didn't say like he did specify why he did, but not to mine, to me personally. I wasn't satisfied by his reasons. There's always more to it.
Jeremy, I want to talk about Rebecca a little bit, if you don't mind. Just what would, if you think she had something she would want to tell us, and it's a burden to sort of speak on her behalf too, but what do you think, from knowing her, being her brother, what would you think she would say to us about today, and what the judge said today about this case?
If she was here theoretically, like right now, I know she's looking down on us. I believe that she has a sense of relief. She can kind of sort of be at peace, but at the same time, it won't bring her back.
What do you want to share about Rebecca?
Despite how her lifestyle was, she wasn't like that. She was a loving mother, loving sister, daughter, a friend. Just, it caught us all by surprise, basically, how we found out how it happened and why. Because we literally saw her 2 days before it happened. We were celebrating a birthday. And then, sorry?
What's next for your family?
Honestly, I can't speak for all of us, but we hope that it kind of it brings closure. It's been difficult. It's been a difficult 2 years.
Well, there's other families who are looking to find the remains of their.
I really hope that they do, and that they can get closure as well.
Will you be active in that process in any way, supporting them?
Of course, yeah. They've been here for us, the Myrons and the Harrises. They've been here. We've connected with a few of them a couple times here and outside. And as for Buffalo Woman, I really hope that she can get her closure too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you. If I get a photo of that.
Okay, where do you want us to stand? Right here. Okay. Sure. Go for it.
We acknowledge that we live and work in Winnipeg on Treaty 1 territory and that Manitoba is located on the treaty territories and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabeg, Anishinaabeg, Dakota Ayete, Denisuelan, and Nehethowak nations. We acknowledge that Manitoba is located on the homeland of the Red River Métis. We acknowledge that northern Manitoba includes lands that were and are the ancestral lands of the Inuit. We respect the spirit and intent of the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, recognize that these harms continue today, and remain committed to working in partnership with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration. We want to thank the numerous organizations that have supported the families throughout this process. We know that this level of support is not always attainable, and that for victims of crime and their families, that the justice system may seem inaccessible. With the help of the people and organizations involved in this case, we believe that that can change.
The organizations that we want to mention specifically are MKO, Southern Chiefs Organization, Medicine Bear, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, First Nations Family Advocate Office, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Implementation Committee, the community elders that have assisted, Leslie Spillett, Stan LaPierre, Thelma Morisseau, Grandma Shingoose, and Michael Pierre, and I'm sure many others. The Infinity Women's Secretariat, the Winnipeg Police Family Support Resource Advocate, the Southeast Resource Development Council, the City of Winnipeg Indigenous Relations Unit, the Winnipeg Police Indigenous Partnership Unit, and many other grassroots supporters that have been there for the families. We also want to thank Candace House, who have provided a refuge for families and helped coordinate numerous meetings from the very beginning of this process. And finally, our own victim services workers who have been there for the families, kept everyone informed, and have provided support to everyone involved in assisting the families and to us. Beyond those organizations, we also want to acknowledge the incredible work of the Winnipeg Police Service Homicide Unit. In his testimony, Dr. Chamowitz described their interview of the accused as masterful. And that product provided the starting point for a lengthy and difficult investigation. We're proud to work with them and thank them for their dedication and service. The last thing we want to express today is our sincere gratitude to the Comtois, Harris, and Myron families for their patience, understanding, and constant respect they have shown us since we first met them. They had every reason not to trust this system, and yet they consistently showed us their grace and courage. And to the family of Mashkode, Bijiki, Ekwe, Iban, you are not forgotten, and neither is your daughter. We're happy to take questions now.
How much pressure, Chris, were you covered a lot of big cases, prosecuted a lot of big cases? How much pressure did you feel in this case? Such a
I think any homicide prosecution comes with a lot of pressure. It's difficult for families, and we do our best to keep in mind that really it's making sure they know what's going on. But yeah, there's always a lot of pressure in these cases. We certainly are aware of that.
How important was the police interview with Skibicki in terms of getting this conviction?
Critical. Yeah, they did a wonderful job. Much of that interview has now been played in open court and accessed by the media, so you've seen the quality of the investigation and the questioning. And it was, a critical piece of information that they had to get so that they could continue their investigation.
Why was it important to start by playing that the first key evidence that you presented? It was important, it seemed like, to start with that and play it fully, the clip that you played along with the interrogation.
One.
As Chris said in the opening remarks, the statement really was the starting piece after Ms. Comtois' body was found, and it really helped to prove the case that the Crown had to prove.
Can you talk about how you felt, because you sort of elaborated within court, about the NCR side of things when that came up from the beginning? Was this something you were thinking the defense, a route they would go down on? And what did you think of the judge's decision today on that? Which is, again, NCR is rare and it's used it. So in this case, what did you think of all of that?
Well, it's never really what we think of it. It's just how we handle these things when they arise. And that's always a possibility and something that the Crown has to be aware of and consider in making decisions as a case unfolds. And we knew that was something that could happen. And, as with any other case, when things change, we adapt on the fly. And that's what we did in this case. In terms of the judge's decision, we haven't had a lot of time to consider it fully yet or to read the full remarks, but obviously we're pleased that he came to the conclusions he came to on that issue and that he reviewed the evidence as thoroughly as he did.
Can you talk a little bit about sentencing? Obviously, there's a will be seeking more in regards to status?
So first-degree murder convictions come with an automatic life sentence and no parole for 25 years. And so that's the sentence that will ultimately be imposed. And there's really nothing more we could ask for.
Is it like a designation, like a interest figure, that kind of thing?
No, those applications aren't available when it's a first-degree murder and a life sentence for 25 years.
It is not typical, as Chris said during the hearing this morning, because it is a mandatory sentence, but it is important that the victims and the community have an opportunity to provide their impact statement, which is allowed under the criminal code.
Go ahead.
The families had every reason not to trust the system. What in Manitoba needs to change so that doesn't happen again?
That's. I don't think that's a question we can really answer. There's been lots written, and we would encourage everybody to read the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Inquiry Report, the Truth and Reconciliation Report. Those are good starting points.
We obviously have to take today on counsel. Is there any possibility that there could be an appeal, or is that not it?
There's always a possibility of an appeal. An offender has an opportunity to appeal 30 days after they're sentenced, and so that is something that could happen.
How important do you think was it? And I ask this because Premier Canoe recently acknowledged this too, the idea that a lot of the women's families advocacy led us to this point of even getting to, the many answers that we've gotten about this case. Do you think that was important in this case to beyond even, the interrogation and getting the landfill search and getting the information out of that about the bourgeois remains and then more? Like, how important was that to your case to make to get that information? And how it started from advocacy for women's families.
I would say that advocacy had really not much to do with the prosecution. Once we're involved in working with the police and authorizing charges, that process is separate from all of the other advocacy that went on in relation to the landfill searches and other things. Those aren't really our domain. We're not involved in that. Our focus has to remain on the prosecution, which it did. Well, from the perspective of the police, hundreds and thousands of hours of investigation and follow-up, and for us, as with any homicide prosecution, there's a lot. That's what I could say. I'm not going to try and quantify it. I don't know. That's not really something we're concerned about.
Can you say what the biggest challenge was for you putting together a prosecution? Is there anything that stood out particularly?
Every case comes with a certain amount of challenges, no doubt. But we approach this like we do any other case. And we prepare, we meet with the families, we do all of the prep work ahead of time. And that's really the same process we use in every case. We can hope that. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, because you limited the scope to the 4 women, of course, that you admitted to in the interrogation. You said that there might not be, that you are at this point not looking and believe that there are any other victims from Mr. Skibicki. But there were other women's DNA found in his apartment that you talked about in the trial. At this point, could there be more victims of Mr. Skibicki that you might be interested in prosecuting in the future?
We have no reason to believe that's the case. So based on the completeness of the investigation, and everything we have and presented in court, we don't believe there's any evidence that would suggest there's other victims, other than the victims that were discussed in his statement and the people who talked about also, being victims of sexual assaults and other things along the way. We didn't lay charges related to those things because we called them as witnesses. But no, we don't believe there's any other victims.
Have you ever dealt with a case like this?
You know, I don't know that I could quantify that or say what's, you know, how often it's used in multiple homicides. Obviously, we took the position that it didn't apply here. So. Okay. Thank you. All right. Good to go.